All right, guys, topic of the day, protein powder and spinach. Now, if you're an MMA fighter or maybe a wrestler, possibly a boxer, could be a jiu-jitsu practitioner or a judo player, if you've cut weight, you've likely followed the protein and spinach diet. If I could tell you the amount of professional athletes paid for their craft were following the protein and spinach diet in the 2 weeks or so before they weighed in and competed, you would be shocked. You might be shocked. This day and age, you probably wouldn't be shocked because I think you're aware that most of these athletes are cutting weight incorrectly, really at a detriment to their health and certainly their performance. And what they simply do is they live on protein powder mixed with distilled water and handfuls of spinach. When they're hungry, they eat handfuls of spinach because it's a low calorie, almost no calorie food. And then they drink the proteins because proteins and muscle and raw meathead. And that's what these athletes are still doing, for real. Believe it or not, that's what they're doing. Quite a few of the athletes that have brought us in because they were following that, and the athlete finally got to the point where they knew this wasn't right. This wasn't right. And even though the local Joe or the manager, agent, coach told them that's the way to do it, the athlete figured out that's not the way. And that's not the way. So if you're doing that, please lean forward a little bit and listen, because I'm going to give you some something to chew on here. Pardon the weight cutting pun. Boom, boom, boom. But if you're living on protein and spinach and distilled water, you are not healthy. You should probably go to the hospital, and you definitely will not perform near your best. You might not even make weight because your body's going to start shutting off, shutting down, holding, retaining water, breaking down that muscle tissue, converting that protein into glucose because you just noobed your way into a really, really bad situation. The best thing to do for an athlete in a weight class restricted sport, number one, is to be aware of their weight class 52 weeks before they actually have to weigh in, right? That's just being accountable, that's being responsible, that's being professional. If you're choosing to compete in a weight class dominated sport, there's no yo-yoing, there's no bouncing, there's no on and off your diet. There should be no on and off season. I mean, does a lawyer or a stockbroker or a barista have an on and off season? The entitlement mentality of athletes to think that they do and then justify this by blowing off steam and work hard, play hard, that immature mentality that leads them to many of these ill issues. So we just live a healthy life year round, which allows us to maintain an optimal body mass composition, high amount of functional healthy tissue, and a lower relative amount of non-functional, don't need it, slowing me down, probably making me sick. Wait, that's how the athlete should live year round. And then they peak out for competition, for weigh-ins and such. The proper way to do it is to not actually have to suffer at all, to not resort to any supplements, and that's a good point to make. As we get closer to competition, we start pulling out supplements. Some athletes do take protein powder, and that's fine. A whey protein isolate with a specific type of whole food meal plan can be beneficial due to the lower total calories in those grams of protein, by comparison to a whole food source like a piece of steak or even chicken or a whole egg. Other protein dense foods also have other calories attributed to them with them. So a few grams, and come on, it's a scoop a day. It's a scoop a day, maybe before breakfast or after a workout or something like that, or mixed into your coffee if you so tolerate it, as a little bit of a treat. But the 90+% of supplements is ridiculous. And as we get closer, as you'll see, those of you who follow 3 Weeks to Shred It, you understand that all supplements disappear towards the end. It just becomes completely whole food, and you would be surprised, those who haven't followed 3 Weeks to Shred It, at how much whole food there actually is. There's carbohydrates every day. Almost every meal you're eating carbs. And most individuals think that they can't eat carbs and lose weight at the same time, and those individuals are wrong. They don't know, for whatever reason they don't know, because we put the information out there, our athletes talk about it constantly. It's why our athletes have a 100% success rate in weighing in. We've never missed weight. None of our athletes, no DOLCE diet athlete, affiliated athlete has ever missed weight. And there's a reason for that, because what we do is the best, healthiest, easiest, most effective, simplest, most professional, common sense, easy to implement way to do it. Cha-ching, you know what I mean? So eating oats and rice and berries and melon and seeds and quinoa. I mean, quinoa and oat bran and jasmine white rice and tons of vegetables. Even cold pressed juices towards the very end are all a part of our weight cutting program. So if you're not following it, and I'm going to wrap this up here, athletes, if you're not following a diet, a weight cutting program that has a wide variety of whole foods, all the way up until the scale, then you're at a detriment. That's not good. Things are going off the rails pretty quick for you. You're not healthy. You're not going to be competing healthy. You're not going to be performing near your full potential, and you're risking injury and other sort of certain illness or conditions, possibility thereof. So we just want you to start thinking about eating more, getting your weight in order a year out. I mean, always. You should always be within striking distance. We want all of our athletes within 6-week shape. We call it 6-week shape, as most of the athletes, all athletes, would consider, specifically combat athletes, is like you're already into training camp, a month into training camp. Our athletes live at 6-week shape. They're out of shape, 6-week shape. They can fight at world-class Olympic levels within 6 weeks, no problem. And they'll be on weight. Shit, they could be on weight that Friday probably, but they'll be easily on weight within 3 weeks out. Our athletes are typically on weight, close to weight 3 weeks out, and then we feed them. And we feed them, and we feed them. We feed them into the scale. We give them more energy. So now their healthy, clean calorie starts to go up. And what do athletes do with it? Motivated, hard training professional athletes. They got more gas in the tank, cleaner gas in the tank. So their expenditure goes up. Their performance goes up. Their body's ability to repair the damage it has incurred from all this hard training, that ability goes up. Instead of the other way, where coaches, athletes start pulling out carbohydrates. Carbs gotta go. To stop eating your carbohydrates, your body's primary fuel source, right? Glucose. Why take away that? Silly in a glycolytic event, which combat sports are, right? I'm gonna take away the primary fuel source. Hey, beautiful Ferrari, I'm gonna siphon out all the gas, and then I'm gonna race you. How's that sound? That's what's happening. So you need to avoid that. Just a diet that is diverse. And I'm going to just give you simple principles. Human, athlete, human, because you're human before you're anything else. A wide variety of earth-grown nutrients. That's the way to do it. A wide variety of organic, in their most natural, wild state, untouched by man, as close to the point of consumption as possible. Those foods have the highest nutrient density per calorie. So you can get maximum nutrient density at a very low or a much lower total caloric load by eating better, healthier foods that have a much wider variety of micronutrition than just the 20 grams of protein, which is probably, 12 to 14 actual grams of protein, not including the filler. All right, so macros aren't even being counted correctly. Anyway, I think that's it. I could just start ranting now, but I won't do that. That's the protein conversation. The protein, spinach, and distilled water. That's probably what I should call it. The protein and spinach diet sounds better than the protein, spinach, and distilled water diet. So those who have listened to the video will actually understand what that means. Those who are just clickbaiting titles, you will have no idea. If you like this video, give a thumbs up. If you like the content that we're putting out, subscribe to the channel. We're adding a new video every single day. That's my goal. At least 5 videos per week, Monday through Friday. Eventually, I'd like to get 7 days a week and just keep that going, but I'm getting better, right? Look back at all the videos we put out so far in January. I'm pretty happy so far with that. And it's the content that you guys are asking down in the comment section. So let me know. These videos are the ones that you've been asking for, and I'm going to keep doing that. Leave comments below. I answer every comment within the first 24 hours of releasing a video. So if you follow the channel, subscribe to the channel, leave a comment below, you're going to get a real answer. I might even do a video on your question or comment. And that's it. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we will talk soon. Boom.